He was 67 years old, retired, in decent shape, no chest pain, no dizziness, no warning signs. He kissed his wife goodnight, set his phone on the nightstand, and went to sleep. By 3 in the morning, he was gone. This video is not meant to scare you. It is meant to save you. Because what happened to him is happening quietly to millions of seniors every single night, in their own beds, in their own homes, and most of them have no idea the habits they have built into their nighttime routines are slowly, silently putting pressure on their heart. If you are over 60, tonight's routine matters more than almost any pill in your medicine cabinet, and by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to change. Now, before we get into the list, you need to understand something that most people in their 60s are never told. The nighttime hours, the hours when you believe your body is resting and recovering, are actually the hours when your cardiovascular system is under the most unpredictable stress. And certain habits, things that feel completely harmless, can trigger a cascade that ends in cardiac arrest before sunrise. We are going to count down 7 of the most dangerous nighttime habits for seniors. And the one at the very top of this list, number 1, is something so ordinary, so common, that almost everyone watching this video is doing it right now. Dr. Raymond Holloway has spent over 30 years as a cardiologist specializing in senior cardiac events, and he has seen this pattern more times than he can count. Think of your heart like a pressure pump inside a water system. During the day, that system is active. It adjusts, it compensates, it keeps the pressure balanced. But at night, when you lie down, the whole system shifts. Blood redistributes. Your nervous system changes gears. And if something in your routine disrupts that transition, even slightly, it can spike pressure, trigger arrhythmia, or cut off blood flow to a heart that is already working harder than it should be. That is the mechanism. Now let us talk about what is triggering it. The 7th habit on this list is one that almost nobody connects to heart risk, and that is eating a large, heavy meal within 2 hours of going to bed. Most people think of late-night eating as a weight issue, maybe a digestion issue. What they do not realize is what it does to your cardiovascular system. When you eat a large meal, your body rushes blood toward your digestive tract to process the food. Your heart has to pump harder to accommodate this. Now combine that with lying down flat, which raises pressure inside your chest cavity, and you have created a situation where your heart is working overtime right when it is supposed to be winding down. For people over 60, this is especially dangerous because the heart muscle itself becomes slightly less elastic with age. It cannot adapt as quickly to sudden changes in workload. Who is at highest risk? Anyone with high blood pressure, anyone who has had a previous cardiac event, and anyone taking blood pressure medication, because the medication is calibrated to your resting state, not your post-meal digestive state. What to do instead? Finish your last full meal at least 2 to 3 hours before bed. If you need something in the evening, make it small and light. A handful of almonds, a small piece of fruit, a cup of herbal tea. There was a woman, 64 years old, a retired teacher. She had a habit of eating dinner late after watching the evening news. She had done it for years and never thought twice about it. After a concerning EKG reading at her annual checkup, her doctor traced the pattern and connected it to her late eating schedule. Within 2 months of shifting her dinner time earlier, her nighttime readings improved significantly. Now here is where it starts getting more serious. The 6th habit is one that is practically a cultural ritual for seniors in many households. It is the nighttime glass of wine, or a beer, before bed. Alcohol is so commonly believed to help with sleep that most people do not think of it as dangerous. But here is what is actually happening inside your body. Alcohol initially relaxes your blood vessels. That feels calming. But within 2 to 3 hours, as your body metabolizes it, it triggers a rebound effect. Blood pressure rises, heart rate becomes irregular, and your nervous system actually becomes overstimulated. This is when cardiac events are more likely to occur. In seniors over 60, this rebound window frequently falls between 2 and 4 in the morning, exactly the highest risk window for heart attacks and strokes. Most people miss this because the glass of wine at 9 feels relaxing, so they never associate it with what happens at 3 a.m. What to do instead? If you enjoy a drink socially, have it earlier in the evening with your meal, not as a wind-down ritual. Replace the nighttime ritual with something equally calming: chamomile tea, warm water with lemon, or a few minutes of light stretching. And the next one is even more overlooked. The fifth habit is sleeping in a room that is too warm. Most seniors prefer warmth. It is a comfort instinct. But your body has a specific temperature regulation process it goes through during deep sleep, and when the room is too warm, typically anything above 67 or 68 degrees Fahrenheit, that process is disrupted. Your body has to work harder to cool itself down. Your heart rate stays elevated. Your blood pressure does not drop the way it should overnight, and a blood pressure that never properly drops during sleep is one of the strongest predictors of morning cardiac events. Research suggests that seniors who consistently sleep in warmer rooms have measurably higher nighttime blood pressure compared to those in cooler environments. The do this instead action here is simple. Lower your room temperature to between 65 and 68 degrees. If you feel cold, use an extra blanket rather than raising the room temperature. The blanket warms you from the outside while allowing your core temperature to regulate naturally. A woman in her early 70s had always slept with the heat at 72 degrees. She came to her doctor reporting poor sleep and morning headaches. The doctor suggested nothing more complicated than turning down the thermostat. She reported back 6 weeks later, saying it was one of the most impactful changes she had ever made. If any of this is feeling familiar, drop the phrase, "I'm changing this tonight," in the comments below. Thousands of people are watching this and making changes right now, and your comment might be the reminder someone else needs. Now let us talk about the fourth habit, and this one is connected to something most people check compulsively before they close their eyes. The fourth habit is using your phone or tablet in bed. Everyone has heard that screen time before bed is bad for sleep, but what most people over 60 do not realize is that it is not just about sleep, it is about your heart. Here is what is happening. The content you consume at night, news, social media, even innocent scrolling, activates your stress response. Your brain releases small amounts of cortisol and adrenaline. Your blood pressure rises, your heart rate increases, and if you fall asleep in that activated state, your cardiovascular system starts the night already under load. For seniors who have any degree of arterial stiffness, which is common after 60, falling asleep with elevated cortisol means the overnight blood pressure dip that protects your heart either does not happen or happens too late. What to do instead? Implement a 30-minute phone-free buffer before bed. Leave your phone on the other side of the room. If you use it as an alarm, get a $5 alarm clock. Use those 30 minutes for something genuinely calming, a few pages of a book, light stretching, or quiet conversation. Now here is where it gets genuinely dangerous, because the next habit is one that millions of seniors do every single night and consider it completely responsible behavior. The third habit is taking multiple medications right before bed without drinking enough water. Many seniors take their evening medications with only a small sip of water, or sometimes no water at all. This seems insignificant. It is not. Certain blood pressure medications, heart medications, and even common over-the-counter pain relievers become concentrated in a dehydrated system. When you sleep dehydrated, your blood becomes more viscous, thicker, which makes it harder for your heart to pump efficiently. Combined with the physical position of sleep and the natural overnight drop in fluid intake, this can raise clotting risk and increase the workload on an already aging cardiovascular system. Most people miss this because they are diligent about taking their medication, which is good, but no one emphasizes the importance of adequate hydration at that moment. What to do instead? Take your evening medications with a full 8 ounces of water. Then have another small glass of water on your nightstand to sip during the night if you wake. Talk to your pharmacist about whether any of your medications have timing guidelines you may not be following. A 70-year-old woman had been taking her heart medication nightly for years with just a few small sips of water. After a minor cardiac event that her doctors traced to an overnight hypercoagulation episode, her medication routine was reviewed. The hydration protocol alone was flagged as a contributing factor. Tell us where you are watching from in the comments, whether that is Houston or London or Auckland, because this information needs to reach seniors everywhere, and your comment helps this video reach more people. Now, we are getting close to the top 2, and these are the ones that will surprise you most. The second habit on this list is one that sounds like wisdom. It sounds like exactly what a healthy senior should be doing, and yet it can be directly linked to nighttime cardiac events in people over 60. The second habit is intense evening exercise, working out hard within 3 hours of bedtime. Physical activity is essential, no question. But the timing matters enormously for your heart after 60. When you exercise intensely, your sympathetic nervous system, your fight-or-flight system, becomes highly activated. Your heart rate surges, blood pressure rises significantly, stress hormones flood your system. This is normal and healthy during the day when your body has hours to return to baseline. But when you exercise hard in the late evening and go to bed while that system is still activated, your heart never properly transitions into the restorative parasympathetic mode that overnight recovery requires. Your heart muscle works through the night without a real rest period. In people over 60, whose cardiovascular systems already require more recovery time, this pattern accumulates risk with each passing night. What to do instead? Move your vigorous exercise to the morning or early afternoon. Evening activity is fine. A walk after dinner is actually beneficial, but keep it gentle. Yoga, light stretching, a slow walk. Save the real exertion for daylight hours. And now, the number one habit, the one that is so common, so embedded in daily life for seniors, that most doctors do not even think to ask about it. The number one nighttime habit that raises heart attack risk in seniors is sleeping flat on your back without elevating your upper body, combined with undiagnosed or poorly managed sleep apnea. Here is why this is at the top of the list. Sleep apnea, meaning repeated pauses in breathing during sleep, affects an estimated 1 in 4 adults over 60. Many of them have never been tested. Many who have been diagnosed are not using their treatment consistently. When you stop breathing during sleep, even briefly, your oxygen levels drop. Your body responds with a cortisol surge and a spike in blood pressure. Your heart is forced to pump harder in an instant. If this happens dozens of times per night, which it does in untreated sleep apnea, you are essentially giving your heart dozens of mini emergencies while it is supposed to be resting. Lying completely flat on your back makes airway collapse worse, which makes apnea episodes more frequent and more severe. Most people miss this because they are asleep when it happens. Their partner may notice the snoring or the silent gaps in breathing, but the person themselves feels like they slept through the night. Who is at highest risk? Men over 60, people who are overweight or have a thicker neck, anyone who snores loudly, and anyone who wakes up unrested no matter how many hours they sleep. What to do instead? And this is specific and actionable. Ask your doctor for a sleep study. They are often covered by insurance and can be done at home now. Elevate the head of your bed by 4 to 6 inches, either with a wedge pillow or by placing risers under the legs at the head of the frame. Sleep on your side if you can, and if you have been prescribed a CPAP or similar device and stopped using it, please talk to your doctor about getting back on it or finding an alternative. This is not optional after 60. The man at the beginning of this video, the one who went to bed healthy and never woke up, had been snoring for years. His wife had mentioned it. He had brushed it off as just snoring. His sleep apnea had never been diagnosed. His blood pressure had been creeping up for months, explained away by stress. The night he died, his body had simply run out of reserves to absorb one more episode. That story did not have to end that way. Yours does not have to either. So here is what you do starting tonight. Finish your last full meal at least 2 hours before bed. Skip the alcohol in the hour before sleep. Cool your bedroom to between 65 and 68 degrees. Put your phone in another room 30 minutes before you lie down. Take your evening medications with a full glass of water. Avoid intense exercise after 7 in the evening. And if you or your partner have noticed snoring, gasping, or waking up exhausted, make that sleep study appointment tomorrow morning, not next week, tomorrow. These are not complicated changes. They do not require a prescription. They do not require equipment or money. They require awareness, the kind of awareness that most people never get because no one takes the time to explain it clearly. Every single one of these is fixable. Tonight, if this video helped you, if it gave you even one thing you are going to change, please share it with someone you love, a spouse, a sibling, a friend who is in their 60s and goes to bed every night not knowing what we just covered. You may be sharing more than a video. You may be sharing years. And if you want to keep getting information like this, honest, clear, practical health content made specifically for adults over 60, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every week, we cover what matters most for your health, your heart, and your life after 60. Take care of yourself tonight. You have earned it.